You might remember the first epic movie when the Smurfs get chased out of their village, end up in New York City, and have to find a way home. Critics didn't really like it, but look, I remember as a kid, I thought it was really good, so that's all that matters. And now, fast forward to 2025, and we have Smurfs, formerly known as the Smurfs musical, with what seems like a significant animation downgrade.
There is a lot of great movies out right now. There's F1, which I still haven't seen. There's Materialists. There's 28 Years Later. But today, we're not seeing any of those. We're going to go see the Smurfs movie.
Bruh.
The Letterboxd histogram right now, it ain't looking so good. But you know what? I'm going in with an open mind. I love playing the Smurfs game, the Smurfs Village game back in the day. So let's go check this out.
Bruh.
Oh man, Smurfs. Guys, I do not know why I keep on doing this to myself. There has been a lot of rough movies this year that I've sat through, but hey, hopefully you guys are finding it entertaining. So, yeah, if you didn't guess already, Smurfs, it wasn't good. The whole thing, pretty much to me, just felt like it was written by AI. I know that's a bit of a cop-out sort of thing to say these days. So overall, look, let me just tell you a bit of the plot line first. It's basically about this Smurf called No Name. Everyone else in the Smurf village, you know, they've all got their specific sort of quirks or powers or, you know, their one purpose in life. But this guy, No Name, he doesn't have anything. He wants to be a magic Smurf, but Smurfs, they're not supposed to do magic. And then he stumbles upon this magical book, accidentally opens up the multiverse, Papa Smurf gets kidnapped and they have to go and rescue him, and in the process he has to discover his true purpose, you know, yada yada yada. So to try and explain a bit why I feel like this might have genuinely been written by AI is that it was just littered with these moments that kind of just feel so concocted, derivative, cliched, like these moments that on paper they're kind of meant to be emotional and cathartic, but they don't really work when they don't have the character arcs or the substance or the human touch behind them. You know, there's these times where they're like, come on, Smurfs, if we all just stick together and believe in each other, Smurfs together are stronger, and
we're here to save everything.
Goodbye, Smurfs, forever.
you know, that kind of thing. Yes, it's cringe. It just feels so surface level, and you could put that message in any kid's film and it's not really specific to this film in any way. And again, maybe it is just poor writing or lazy writing, but I feel like if I typed into ChatGPT, write me the outline for a Smurfs movie about a misfit Smurf, it'd spit out something quite similar to this. And the other thing as well is that this film was very clearly created and written back when multiverses were the whole rage. Everyone was getting hype about Spider-Man, No Way Home. And this film is just so clearly trying to tap into that. But at the end of the day, all it comes back to is pretty much just bland aesthetics. The multiverse doesn't really have a purpose other than to go, wow, look at this cool place that we've ended up in. And I guess it's used as a tool to add in these weird characters called Poots. But again, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they're in Smurfs lore. They're a weird creation for this film. And look, guys, I gotta be honest with you. I did fall asleep in this movie for a few seconds. I was dozing off here and there. And yes, that's my bad, because being sleepy obviously means you're not going to enjoy a movie as much. So that's a disclaimer. I could be wrong about some of my opinions. I might not have given this the full chance that it deserved, but man, it was just quite slow and boring. I've got to say, there was nothing there that got me inspired or excited, except for maybe a few little things. But overall, a bigger problem that I have with this film is that I think it actually doesn't have that good of a message for kids, because in the end, what happens is No Name Smurf, he just realizes that he needed to believe a bit harder, and then he gets everything he wants. He becomes the Magic Smurf. He has magic powers. It's not really explained logically how or why that happens, other than that he just needs to have a bit more self-belief. And I don't think this is actually a good message to say to kids. Now, you'd probably be asking,
Why? That seems like a good thing. You want to encourage kids to have self-esteem.
yes, you do, but I think more importantly than self-esteem, you need to teach the values of resilience. And I think that's something that we have lost a little bit in society. Let me give you an example. Me as a kid, right? I wanted to play AFL. I wanted to be an Australian rules footballer. And at the end of the day, guys, I wasn't really that talented at it. And if I just had all these messages zapped into my head that, oh, if you just believed harder, you would get everything you wanted and you become an AFL player. Look, maybe you can take that worldview, but I think a lot of the time there's just so many things in life where it's not going to turn out the way you wanted, no matter how hard you try. And I think we need to teach kids this lesson. We need to say that it is okay to not get everything that you want, but there are other opportunities and other ways that you can still find fulfillment and be a happy person. But this movie, no, it just falls back into that cliche of, nah, just believe harder and you'll become everything you wanted. It's like my problem with Inside Out 2 as well. That's the same kind of thing when she becomes the hockey player that she wants to. And it's like, yes, it's important to aspire for big things, but you're not going to get them every time. Not everything has a happy ending. This film just perpetuates that worldview. And look, you might be asking, oh, well, what are some examples of kids' movies that do this in a good way? And look, maybe I haven't watched enough, but I'm not quite sure off the top of my head kids' films that do teach resilience really well. You guys are going to hate me for this, but I think The Last Jedi, yes, for all the problems that it has, I think it actually has a good message about, look, you might come from nothing, you might fail, but there's always a chance for redemption, and maybe it's not in the way that you expected, but there's still a way that you can make things right, maybe in a different way. But then, of course, Disney went and retconned all of that with Rise of Skywalker, which everyone hated. That's a whole other story. One other thing I forgot to point out while I was recording, guys, is like how weird their character design is. Like, something about this was just so off-putting to me. If you have a look at where their mouth is compared to their nose, it's like so off-center. It just doesn't feel right. It feels like you should move their mouth from here to there. Oh, it seems like such a tortured existence being a Smurf. But yeah, other little nitpicks as well. They've got this whole like, trendy music kind of thing going on where it's meant to be this modern TikTok kind of, I guess, brat style music for the Smurfs.
Check this out.
And for me, it's just so cringy. It's like, that's not what the Smurfs are meant to be. They're meant to be these charming little creatures, right? They're meant to be singing these happy little songs, not this new, like, 2025, whatever it is. And yeah, maybe it's harsh, but I'm not quite sure that Rihanna suited the role of Smurfette. I think she was a bit miscast, but look, that being said, when she's actually talking, I thought she did okay. It was okay. Something else I forgot to mention as well, they made Vanity Smurf into a girl, man. What the hell is that? Vanity Smurf is meant to be this kind of flamboyant, exaggerated, funny male character, and also it goes against the law of the Smurfs. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's only meant to be one female Smurf, and that is Smurfette.
This was so illogical, you know?
This film also suffers from the plot sort of just happening regardless of what the characters do. Like, they sort of get whisked away into magic portals and things and don't really necessarily control the events of the film. So that's a classic trap that a lot of movies fall into, and this definitely does. So overall, guys, I'm going to give the Smurfs movie 2 stars out of 5. Look, if you're a kid, maybe you'll like it, and it's probably just not meant for me. Maybe I'm being too harsh. I could be just a grumpy old man yelling at clouds. There's this one part at the end of the film that was quite funny when the Smurfs swear, and Sound Effects Smurf uses the little beep sound effect. But it also got me thinking, often throughout the film, the characters use the word Smurf as a swear word.
What the Smurf?
Smurfity Smurf Smurf Smurf.
There's no call for that kind of language, laddie.
But then also, at the start of the movie, Smurfette says that she wishes she could smurf all day. And if you're using it as an expletive, what does Smurfette mean when she says that?